In the last video, we discussed best practices and the concepts we'll implement in this section. In this video, we'll dive in and begin formatting our sheets, paying special attention to axis labels and lines. We'll start with our combo chart. Right-click on the chart background and choose Format. Click on the paint bucket icon, and make sure you're on the Sheet tab instead of rows or columns, and set the Worksheet Default Fill to None. Now we'll remove the white borders by clicking on the Borders icon and setting the row dividers and column dividers to None. For these, the header inherits the pane unless you choose otherwise, so you only need to set it once for rows and once for columns. So that gets rid of our borders. Now let's get rid of these pesky axis ticks. Go to the Lines and under Axis Ticks, set it to None. Next, we'll hide the field label for week by right-clicking on it and saying Hide. And let's edit the title to reflect our new colors and be a bit more descriptive. We'll say Weekly Service Level versus Number of Orders Shipped, and we'll center it and color it with this bottom medium gray on the left. And then we'll just highlight the words Service Level and color them blue. And then to help us when we color the marks similarly, let's go back into the color picker, go to More Colors, and with this color selected, hit Add to Custom Colors. Next, let's format the axes. You'll notice we're doing all this from the dashboard view, not in the worksheet, which is convenient, but it can be done from either view. So right-click on the left axis and choose Format. We want to set the font to 8-point, bold, trebuchet, with the same medium gray that we used in the title. Let's also relabel this Number of Orders Shipped. So right-click on the axes, click Edit Axis, and change this to Number of Orders Shipped. Now let's change the font of the right axis. Just by clicking on it, we already have the formatting pane open, so we can change the font right here to Trebuchet, bold, but instead of gray, let's make it blue to match our service level color. This will help user make the connection between which mark ties to which axis. Now we can do a lot of sheet formatting in here in the dashboard view, but the one thing we can't do is format the marks. So let's hop into this sheet by clicking the Go to Sheet. Now double click the color legend where it says Ship Service Level to bring up the color picker. And then we'll use our custom color for this, so double click, apply the custom color, and hit OK. For number of records, let's set it to the dark gray from the Tableau 20 palette, and hit OK. So now let's jump back to our dashboard and see how it looks. One last tweak on this chart for now. Let's change the reference line to be a dashed blue line. Right-click Format. Under Line, More Colors, we'll use our custom blue, but let's also subdue it a bit by setting the transparency to about 50%. And one more thing, let's go ahead and add a label for the reference line. Right-click Edit, and under Label, we'll pick Custom, and just type in Service Level Goal, and OK. Now we can format the label by right-clicking on it and changing the shading to be our background color and our font to be that light gray. This is looking a lot cleaner already. Now let's go ahead and format our order priority chart. This will be a bit of a repeat, but we'll right-click Format and switch our background color to None. You can also switch it to the same background color, but if you're going to change your background color in the future, Just know that you're going to have to adjust it on all your sheets if you do select the color for each one. We'll also get rid of our borders the same way we did before. Click on the borders, and under the dividers, set them to none. Now let's hide the x-axis altogether. Right-click on it, and uncheck Show Header. Now let's adjust the title by double-clicking on it, and we'll center it, and change the color to the medium gray. Now let's change the bar headers to a different font. If we click on this, remember our actions are still enabled, so we'll jump to our operational dashboard. So let's head back to the summary dashboard, and we'll click Go to Sheet. From here, the actions aren't enabled, so we can right-click and Format. We'll change our font to Trebuchet again. Let's make it 10-point, bold, gray. And then let's change the color of the bar to our bright blue. Now if we head back to our dashboard, we can see that's looking pretty clean. Now sit back and relax while I repeat this same process exactly for the next 3 charts at the bottom. Just kidding, instead of redoing this, we'll right-click on By Order Priority and copy formatting, and then we'll paste that formatting to each of these sheets. That takes care of most of the work. But since they're using different fields, we do need to customize each one. Set to Trebuchet 10 and remove the axis. Once again for product container, 10-point, medium gray. Remove the axis. And finally for customer segment, Trebuchet 10-point, medium gray. And hide the axis. Alright. Now let's recolor and center the titles to the medium gray, center, medium gray, center. Guess what? Medium gray and center. So I think you'll agree that's a pretty drastic transformation from where we started just a few minutes ago. To recap, we focused on styling our lines, labels, and marks. We removed borders around the charts by setting row and column dividers to none. We removed axis ticks by clicking on Format Lines, which is the paintbrush icon, and set them to none. And finally, we color-coded our text, axis, and labels to match our marks to help our users quickly understand which objects are connected to each other. In the next video, we'll continue the enhancements by adding labels and tooltips.